Hi, my name is Ollie Warren, and this is part of my summer long review of every single Disney Channel original movie that is available on Disney Plus. Today is day one, and I watched Phantom at the Megaplex. I give this movie a solid 7 out of 10. It's really fun to watch, and I really like how the mystery kept going, and there was a lot of red herrings. So usually there's only one red herring in a basic mystery movie made for kids, but this one surprised me a lot because I genuinely didn't know who it was at the end. I'm not going to spoil it for you. The movie follows the movie follows Pete. That's his name. The movie follows Pete, who is the assistant manager at the Grand Megaplex, which is a movie megaplex that has 26 screens, which is an insane amount of movie theaters. I grew up in a small town. No way. No way, Jose, are we getting that many movie theaters. We don't even have a movie theater in my town. And the movie theater seems to be haunted by the Phantom of the Megaplex, which was a person who loved movies and was there when the original movie theater shut down and was brought to the ground. It was completely destroyed to build the Megaplex. And the entire crew of this movie theater believes that the Phantom Menace may be attacking. And you can see throughout the movie that these various events happen that would be difficult to explain, like the popcorn machine going haywire and not being able to turn it off until you unplug it, like not even with the switch. And the giant dinosaur balloon that has been taped to the top of the roof completely disappearing. So it's very easy to see that like there could be a phantom, and the whole plot of it is that everything's going wrong on this movie theater's big night. They're having a movie premiere of a movie called Midnight Mayhem, and they need it to go perfectly or else a lot of people are going to lose a lot of jobs. And the general manager, a guy named Sean, actually threatens Pete, saying, "If anything goes wrong tonight, I'm blaming it on you," which is terrible misconduct. Holy moly, that's an adult telling a 17-year-old that if something messes up, it's his fault, even if it's not. I don't think that's crazy. That's crazy. Absolutely not. I don't like this guy, by the way. He's a little bit persnickety. One of the special things about this movie is that it does a really good job of world building. While it is like not a fantasy world, it does a really good job of world building. We're introduced to a bunch of secondary characters that might not have a lot to do with the movie, but they still make every scene interesting. They can still affect some parts. And it's like creates this whole environment within the movie theater that we rarely actually have to go outside the movie theater for scenes. I think there's only like four scenes that actually take place outside the vicinity of the movie theater, and that is um, when Pete is explaining what happened to the old movie theater, when he goes home, and like there's some like family drama about the middle sister taking care of the younger brother while Pete works. While she also wants to go to a different movie, and her mom is going with this like boyfriend guy. We'll get to that later. And then whenever the car breaks down for the boyfriend and the mom, and they do just a really good job of creating this environment within the Pizzaplex. They don't even need to use other settings. They don't even need to use other scenes because they do such a good job of creating this whole world. Um, the characters are all very interesting, and they always have like something to say or some opinion to give, and it's really cool. They did a really good job of sticking with consistency for these characters because they gave a lot of the secondary characters just kind of like an attribute or two. Like this one girl, she's like really quick paced and she gets everything done zip, zip, zip. Another girl is like the grandma of the group. A guy like asks questions about everything. There's just a lot to like think about within this world. I mentioned the family a little bit earlier, and The family, I like the younger siblings. I think they have a really interesting story with the sister not wanting to babysit her little brother and wanting to go to her own movie, which is not appropriate for her age, but she wants to go anyway. And then the little brother who's like a detective and is like, I'm going to find the Phantom. And it's just really, really interesting. And they have a lot of like movie quotes, but it's not so overbearing that it feels just like pop culture for pop culture's sake, which is something that we get into a lot of in the modern day and age. This movie was made in 2000. And I was really happy to see that. Another part of the world building is that they invented a bunch of movies to be showing at the movie theater. They didn't just use other movies, they invented new movies, which is really cool. That's good writing. Um, so, there is one last thing that I want to touch on, which is the romantic aspect of the movie. Pete has this girl, Caitlin, that he wants to go out with, and so he's trying to impress, but he's not like a guy like his bully, Donnie, I believe, who is like, well, I drive fancy cars, and even though I've never worked a day in my life, I'm the coolest guy ever. And we have that relationship, which has pretty much no build up. Like, I was sort of like rooting for it at the end, but there's just no build up or tension at all. Um, and the other romantic relationship is the mom and her boyfriend, who he actually proposes at the end because in the beginning of the movie, the kids were like talking to her mom and being like, when's he gonna propose? And I just I feel like there was just no romantic tension between the two. Like there was nothing. There was nothing. And I want there to be something. I think it would be really cool if there was something. Um, but there's just not. I feel like that's what kind of brings this down because like you see on Disney Plus on the cards that it is like a it's supposed to be romantic and like it's Pete with Caitlin, but there's just not the romantic aspects. And I feel like if you're gonna model something as romantic, you have to have some sort of romantic aspect, and it has to be pretty okay. And there's just nothing here. Um, so I feel like that was a little bit misleading. It's also like the I was really happy about though there was no like fart jokes or anything, which I was really happy about. I know that's something that's kind of like all encompassing in modern media is like fart jokes, and I was really happy to have some like genuinely good jokes in the movie without having to use bathroom humor. Like that was really nice that I didn't have to sit through that. Overall, I would probably give this movie another watch. I think it's just a really fun thing to watch, and it was clear that there was a lot of work put into it, especially like compared to some other Disney movies, like Disney Channel movies I've seen. There was a lot of like world building put into it, and it wasn't too kiddie, and it was just a lot of fun, and it seemed like the people working on the project had a lot of fun from what I could see from the movie. So I definitely recommend this one. Phantom of the Megaplex is a 7 out of 10.